My name is Michael Quinn. I'm the president of the Museum of the American Revolution. This museum will be located in downtown Philadelphia, and it'll be dedicated to telling the entire story of the American Revolution, the incredible struggle that not only gave our country its independence, but established forevermore the ideals of equality and liberty that are our foundation. The museum will provide a full context for all the incredible landmarks and history that happened here in Philadelphia. And it will make Philadelphia the richest, most engaging destination for anyone who wants to explore and experience the American founding. People will be stunned to see what we have in this collection. Can you imagine standing in the presence of the musket held by the commander of the militia as he faced the British across the North Bridge at Concord? Or the pistols carried by a general, a canteen used by a private, or the powder horn used by a rifleman from Virginia. These objects are going to bring to life the people, the sacrifices, the goals and interest of those who achieved the American Revolution. The museum project has already garnered national attention.
There are museums dedicated to barbed wire and spam, hobos and yo-yos and even trash. Yet there is no major museum for the treasures of the American Revolution. Well, tonight, Anthony Mason tells us there are plans to right that wrong with a museum to be built with public and private funds in the city where America was born.
Well, if you come down here...
In a secret location in the suburbs of Philadelphia, Scott Stevenson has been cataloging artifacts from the Revolutionary War.
This is a British musket?
A musket used in the Battle of Lexington and Concord, the first action in the War of Independence.
It would have had a strap.
A soldier's canteen, one of only 3 known to have survived.
It says U.S. U states.
U states. If you think about it, at this point, the United States is still just an idea.
Right. For years, the 3,000 items in this collection have been looking for a permanent home. By 2015, they'll finally have one. When the Museum of the American Revolution opens in Philadelphia, near Independence Hall. Amazingly, it'll be the first national museum to tell the entire story of the American Revolution.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm glad it's here.
Brown University professor Gordon Wood is a scholar of the Revolution.
And there have been museums for almost every conceivable event in American history or person in American history, but not for the American Revolution, which is extraordinary when you think of the Revolution as the most important event in our history.
The museum's collection will include this letter, written in Washington's own hand, celebrating the French joining the cause. It was donated just this month.
That's a pretty exciting...
That's a nice thing to have arrive.
And this document.
This isn't the original, is it?
This is the original.
This is the
Printed
original?
in the spring of 1775.
An enlistment form for recruits to an uprising.
And enlist ourselves as soldiers in the Massachusetts Service for the Preservation of the Liberties of America. This is the beginning of the Army.
This is it.
The carvings on a soldier's powder horn show the stakes were high.
Kill or be killed.
And
Liberty or death. Is this the prize of the collection, really?
I think it would be hard to top this one, that's for sure.
The 20-foot piece of canvas was General Washington's home during the war.
This is his actual tent.
This is it. This is the roof under which he spent at least half of the American Revolution. Personally, I think it's chilling to think about the emotions that were felt underneath this canvas.
Washington's victories led to the birth of a nation.
To be an American is to not be somebody, but to believe in something. And the things we believe in came out of that revolution.
The story is written in this collection, artifacts from an act of defiance that would literally change the world. Anthony Mason, CBS News, Philadelphia.
The museum will be a new landmark in Philadelphia. We've retained an internationally recognized architect, Robert A.M. Stern, to create the building design. It'll fit into the historic neighborhood, and it'll bring life and vitality to the street. It'll have a welcoming courtyard that'll just draw people into this building. After you enter the building, you'll be welcomed by a soaring lobby that is really an entry to exhibits that'll inspire a 12-year-old and fascinate a senior. You'll first experience an incredible theater, an immersion theater, that'll tell you the story of the Revolution and its significance. You then ascend a flight of stairs into the soaring courtyard where you'll begin your exploration of the exhibits. Our exhibits will chronicle the revolution, from the opening causes to ultimate victory. The museum will be at the cutting edge of 21st century design and technology. Not only will it have immersive experiences, but it'll use technology to really make you understand the decisions and the drama of the American Revolution. We'll also bring to life the people who really carried out the war, from James Forten to Joseph Plum Martin, who enlisted at age 16, and Good Chief Peter, head of the United Nations, that allied themselves with the American cause and broke with so many other Native American tribes. These are the stories of our nation's original greatest generation that really brought about the American nation. Among the highlights will be a gallery dedicated to the Declaration of Independence and how it came about. Another will be a theater where George Washington's tent will be on display, and you'll come to understand how Washington's presence and command held the Army together for 8 long years and unified the nation. The museum will have significant economic benefits. It'll draw tourists, create jobs, and generate more than $3 million in annual tax revenues, both locally and across the state. But the most important reason behind the museum is its educational value. Through this museum, we will establish how our generation and future generations come to understand the American Revolution.
I am really discouraged at the lack of knowledge our students have in American history. And often my students tell me that their own parents don't know the story of the past.
This new Museum of the American Revolution is going to have the best possible location in all of our country. Philadelphia. That's the point on the compass where it all began. It could not be a more appropriate or inspiring place to bring people.
We began the campaign when the National Park Service agreed to give up part of Independence National Park just for this museum. Since then, we've established a fundraising goal of $150 million. And our chairman, Jerry Lenfest, gave it a wonderful kickoff when he announced that he would match up to $40 million in gifts from others. Our fundraising has now surpassed $90 million. We'll start construction when we reach $110 million, and then we complete the campaign during the construction time period. The founders pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor. Now it's up to us.